I've seen a resurgence of IQ talk a lot lately. And
Yeah.
it's like I feel like a lot of these people think it's like a Dungeons and Dragons stat.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't understand how what IQ is supposed to be and how it's assessed or whatever. That it's just like a hard number that is intelligence. You know, and it'd be like that guy is, you know, the guy with the 118 IQ is 5 smarter than the guy with the 113.
Right.
So he should be in charge.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You guys were talking about this too.
Oh, was I? Okay.
Somebody complimented you about having a high IQ. You're like, oh, that's nice. And you were like bragging or something.
Yeah, you know what it means.
Something like it's great. Like you like the IQ argument when you're smart.
Oh no! I'm sorry. You're right. I forgot that was in the.
Yeah.
That made it into the cut. I was talking to Gavin about that.
Yeah.
No. I was talking about because he bases a lot of his arguments in IQ and stuff, and I'm like, I think IQ is kind of bullshit. I think it's like, I don't think it equates to intelligence. Like, I don't think there's a hard number that you can put on that, and there's tremendous number of examples that you can pull from just to kind of demonstrate that. And also, it was like when I was talking to them, this would have been in like the mid 2000s, you know, at the Vice office or whatever. And it'd probably be in relation to that book, The Bell Curve. And I'm like, when were all these, you know, when did he IQ test every race? What, like the 70s? Like how hard of a, you know, kind of innate characteristic is this that it's going to last, that we can rely on it 40 years later with a completely different group of people than the sample or whatever? And he said, he was his retort was, he was like, well, one time I heard your first wife say that you had a high IQ. And I'm like, that's your argument? That my ex-wife once said something? It's like, all right.
But you didn't argue about it. You agreed with her.
Well, I don't even know if I was there. I don't even know if that happened.
Right.
He didn't know, like he didn't remember my ex-wife's name.
Right.
He identified her by her breast, which I was like, it was a little, you know.
So what was the premise of that Bell Curve book?
Oh, just that I never made it more than 5 pages into that.
Oh.
It's famously that there's if you look at IQs by race, the bell curve is a normal distribution, and that the different races come out at different averages on it.
Right.
I think most within a standard deviation, maybe some within 2, but it gets used. It helps prop up arguments that race is genetically determinative of people's intelligence and achievement. And it's like, how many people's IQ tests is this fucking based on?
Yeah, sure.
Like, how are we defining race? It's like,
yeah, and the way he was explaining it, and I could be wrong, is that the argument was it was like recognizing patterns in IQ in different types of races, but you have to look at each individual as like in a vacuum, right? A separate individual.
He treats everybody as individuals.
Keep everybody as individual, right? You can't automatically like take you are Chinese, so you are automatically better at math. Like it's not
right. Even though I could hear him saying that very easily. It's tricky in that the term racism means both hates people of other races, but also there's, I guess, what we used to call scientific racism too. That is like race is a biological reality, and that a person's skin color is directly correlated to, you know, genetically determined traits which govern their intelligence and how they behave and that kind of shit. And they overlap tremendously. One can lead to the other and vice versa and so forth. But yeah.
But so the Chinese argument is interesting. So are Chinese people generally more good at math because of their heritage, or is it because of their culture, that the way their education system works?
It's going to be 99% their fucking culture in my mind.
Exactly. Of course, because
it's
the
like,
whole language is
what
based
is a
on
Chinese person? Somebody with, you know, pure Han heritage. Where does that begin? Like, at what point does the Chinese race begin, and what delineates it? If a you know, Korean woman marries a Chinese guy and they have a kid, does he now have half the Chinese prowess in math? Like, it's baloney, you know, it's discredited nonsense.
Yeah. I had this
dude everybody in the world behaves like like they look, you know, it's just not a great,
The funny
doesn't
thing
have much
is,
scientific rigor to it.
Right. Yeah, totally. I had this dude from the Human Genome Project on here, and he was telling me that every single human being on Earth descended from something like 10,000 people.
Right. There's the bottleneck, right?
Yeah.
The big genetic bottleneck.
It's insane.
Yeah, crazy, right?
We came from that many people, and they're like, you know, we're not that fucking different. We're pretty much the same. And another funny thing is, even so like there's this whole generational war between Israel and Palestine, right?
Yeah.
Also, they're literally genetically identical.
Oh, it's funnier than that. People talk about Palestinian anti-Semitism, and it's like there are Semitic people too, you know? I mean,
Yes.
it's like, I understand that we're dressing up the word Jew hate
Right.
with anti-Semitism, but it's like, can we at least be a little more accurate? Yeah.
Right.
No, it is the same fucking
They have
people.
the same exact heritage. They come from the Canaanites, both of them.
Right.
It's just fucking culture shit.
The idea that groups, back when like I was taking like high flute and critical theory like graduate classes at in college, we talk about like essentialism and essentialist narratives, and it's the idea that these, the traits, specifically the traits you can see and the traits that you can organize people into groups with, are necessarily innate, and that a Palestinian person must behave Palestinianly because of their Palestinianness, is like 100% concocted horseshit, right? That it's, I don't know. That's
it's different. It's
that all these, it's like the borders of a country. There's like, it's like some guy made these, right?
Yeah.
This is, I guess it's, become some
Right.
sort of dog whistle or not, to be
Yeah.
like, this is a social construct, which doesn't mean it doesn't have validity or is not, important or useful or whatever. It's like, but this is 100% socially constructed shit that could change, that, should be examined.
And this is also part of the thing we were talking about, with like the social contagion and how like the media fuels all this stuff, right? Because like 99.999% of people who have an opinion on things like Israel and Palestine or Iran don't have a fucking clue about what it's like there, or like what the people are like there, nor have they met people there. And it's like fucking, just the television.
But they've all got an opinion. Yeah, they've all got a take.
They've all got a take,
Yeah,
which is, they've stolen from somebody else, who that person stole it from somebody else. Of
course.
And, it's like
Internet
nothing,
is a font of received wisdom,
like
if nothing
nothing
else.
is fucking real anymore.
Right.
We're in post-reality.
But how real was it before? And why was it real before, right? This is my thing. I've got a girlfriend who's kind of freaked out about the fact that you can no longer read the news and trust sources and things of this nature. I'm like, well, why did you trust them to begin with? How much does this actually change your life, right? And how much of this is seeing the lay of the land that previously felt firm and stable from a new vantage point, right? We all know now to take what the New York Times writers write with a grain of salt, because they've fucked up things, right?
Yeah.
And there's a slant to almost everything they write that can be delineated into a discrete agenda.
We're more aware
right?
of the bullshit now.
But at what point did this start? Why was it, like, how do you not think that was the case with specifically the New York Times in like the 60s and 70s? And what is then the basis for your understanding of history?
Right.